Well, hello there, my friends, and welcome into another episode of the Subscription Web Design Podcast. I sure hope this finds you doing well. And I want to talk to you about something in this episode that I think is going to make arguably some of the most impact in your business of anything we've ever talked about if you really, really grasp it, okay? And this is called your EHR formula, or your effective hourly rate. Now, full disclosure, the ideas shared here come from James Schramko's book, Work Less, Make More. It's a great book. I encourage you to read it. It will dive even deeper into this than we're able to. And so it's, great. Go to Amazon.com, grab your copy of the book. You won't be disappointed. This episode is going to be brought to you by my course, because in my course, we teach you all about how to be effective and grow your web design business. And that's really what this is about. This is a little different angle on it, or additional angle on it. But we talk a lot about in your course how to have an effective process and how to make sure you're maximizing your time in your web design business. And so getting started with subscription web design, you can grab that by going to steveschram.co/SWD, steveschram.co/SWD. And right now you can still use the word podcast to get 20% off as a coupon code. So be sure to do that. So there are very few numbers in your business that are more powerful than your effective hourly rate. Now, if you know anything about business at all, there are definitely some numbers that you should be paying attention to. This is the one number that has the ability to control a lot more than you might think it could. It can control what you're going to decide to do, how much time and money you're willing to invest in a particular project or initiative, when it's time to hire and who you should hire first. Yeah, believe it or not, all of these questions can be answered at least partially with the EHR, effective hourly rate number. Now, at the bottom line, what this does is shows you how much money that you are making effectively. Okay? It's not the hourly rate that you're charging clients. It's the hourly rate you're charging clients minus any expenses that you have, whatever. And in fact, let's say that you're not even charging clients hourly. Let's say you're charging a project base, or again, a subscription base. You can actually calculate this even with that. For example, in my business, I know that my effective hourly rate on the average project that we do is between $150 and $200 an hour. And that doesn't mean I'm making, okay, hear me, it doesn't mean I'm necessarily making $150 to $200 an hour for every hour of the day. That's not what that means. It means for every hour I work on that project, that's my effective hourly rate. And then the more that you can standardize your processes and make it to where each project is consistent, well, then you can really get into the territory of calculating your effective hourly rate across the scope of the work that you're doing. So how do we do this? What is the formula? How do we actually calculate your effective hourly rate? Well, to do that, I'm going to go ahead and just quote to you from James Schramko's book, Work Less, Make More, on how to actually calculate this for yourself. Quote, take the amount of revenue you make in a month and subtract your costs. What you have left is your monthly profit. If you have a job, then your wage is your profit. Divide your profit by the number of hours you've worked in the month to get it. The number you have now is your EHR. Let's say you make $20,000 a month in revenue, and your fixed and variable costs come to $15,000. That means your profit will be $5,000. If you work 250 hours a month to achieve that profit, then $5,000 divided by 250 equals an EHR of $20 an hour. Now, whether that's good or bad is irrelevant. Once you know what that is, one of the singular goals in your business, like one of those top few goals, could be increasing your EHR. Because the more you increase your EHR, the more flexible you can be. How do you increase your EHR? By increasing your pricing, by hiring people to do work for you. There's lots of ways to actually increase your EHR by extending the amount of time that somebody should actually pay for your product. Lots of different ways. Again, I encourage you to read the book, Work Less, Make More, because he's going to talk through very specific strategies on how to do that. And it's a little bit out of scope for this. What I want to do is introduce you to this concept, the EHR. It can single-handedly increase your pay overnight. This is what you have to understand, okay? If it takes you right now, let's say I'm going to try to do some math off the cuff here. Let's say right now, it takes you 15 hours at $100 per hour, okay, that you're billing to do a project, okay, for a client. 15 hours, $100 an hour, that's $1,500. Now you're thinking, okay, well, that's how I make $1,500. Now, what if you hired somebody to build that website? It still takes the 15 hours, but you only have to pay them $20 an hour, okay? $20 an hour. So I'm going to pull up my calculator here so that we can sort of do this in a way that that makes sense. But for that $15 or that 15 hours, if you pay them $20 an hour, your costs on that are $300. If you subtract that from the $1,500 that you charged, because again, your rate is $100 an hour, you now have $1,200 in profit. Okay? Now, let's say that you still had to do about 5 hours of work in order to make that, in order to push the project through. So after the website is built, you still have to come in and, you have to do some client management along the way. You have to do the hosting stuff and set up the domain and all of that. Let's say you work 5 hours. Now, 5 hours divided, or that $1,200 rather, divided by the 5 hours of work that you did, now that's $240 an hour. Now, here's the key. You made less money, right? Instead of $1,500, you made $1,200. You made $300 less, but you didn't have to do all of that work. You saved yourself 10 hours of time, okay? And you made $240 an hour instead of $100 an hour. I hope you see how that works. That might be hard to think about in your mind. Go back, and I stuttered a little bit too. That didn't help because I'm bad at math. But think about that a little bit. Go back and re-listen to that and maybe even write those numbers down. Think about it. Would you rather spend 15 hours and make $100 an hour and get all $1,500, or would you rather make $240 an hour, still clear $1,200 on the project, and only work for 5 hours and have those 10 hours back to spend time with your family? That is the kind of magic that you can come to when you're thinking in these terms about your effective hourly rate and different ways that you can increase that. Powerful stuff. This one number can help you make lots of decisions in your business and help you decide whether to scale, when to scale. Maybe scaling isn't it at all. Maybe you just want to increase your prices and figure out other more creative ways or increase your efficiency. Maybe you can use a tool like ChatGPT or something like that to do some of the work that you would have done and, cut a 15-hour build into a 10-hour build, and that helps save you some time. Either way, anything that you could do to get that EHR up is going to be fantastic. It's like compound interest. It's that magical, and it can really help you spend more time doing business development activities as a business owner, which is what you should be doing, instead of more technician work. It can pay dividends. Okay? Guys, that's it for this episode. I hope this has been helpful to you. Don't forget to check out my course, and don't forget to check out James Schramko's book, Work Less, Make More. I think both will be very helpful for you in their own unique way. God bless. Y'all take care.